One thing I didn't expect this morning from ESPN, Woj, throwing it out there that the Lakers are targeting Dan Hurley as their head coach. Now, just when you think you know all the answers, something in life just comes to say, you got to humble yourself just a little bit, not so fast, because I was just convinced, I was amused, I'd laugh every day. When I would hear and see the Mind the Game podcast, that's JJ Redick and LeBron James, I would just laugh at that thing. I'd be like, man, this is a political campaign masquerading as a podcast. There is so much shade. There's so much shade going on here. There's so much subtweeting going on here, manipulation, steering, everything that both of them say. They ain't really saying what they're saying. There's a message underneath it to somebody. You know, the other day, for example, the most gifted player in the NBA comment from LeBron, that's cute. That really wasn't about Kyrie. That was just like a rebuke of Rob Pelinka for not getting them.
Ooh.
And okay, I just want to remind you that I'm mad that you didn't do your job. So I'm going to say Kyrie is the most gifted player in the NBA, and I love Kyrie, but really, I'm throwing some shade at you too. Anyway, I digress. Dan Hurley.
That is a very manipulative statement that you are accusing the king, LeBron James, of.
Okay, what king is not what king is not manipulative? What king is just all above board? All kings have some and queens have some manipulation in them.
Hey, watch it.
LeBron James is no different. LeBron James is no different. But I wonder what targeting Dan Hurley means. Is that a LeBron thing? Is that a Jenny Buss thing? Did they surprise him with this? Is JJ now? Is the honeymoon over before the wedding even happened? I'm just trying to understand this, Vinny. Dan Hurley, look, great coach, did a great job at UConn, and I can understand why the Lakers or anybody else would want him. He's an excellent coach and be a fit in the NBA because he's pretty much been in the G League at UConn. So why not just push up to the NBA? But what do you make of this news?
I think this is one of those interesting ones. Has so many different, shall we say, tentacles to it. This is what I will go with, at least for the moment. Have the Lakers decided that they are going to buck the trend of almost 45 years of only respecting two coaches, and barely two at that, Pat Riley and Phil Jackson? Right? Those were the only two coaches in the Buss family era of owning this team that they've honestly respected. Everybody else has kind of been, yeah, you can go, we'll fire you. You win a championship, you can go too, right? All right, cool. If you are going to go after and court and hire Hurley, you're going to have to pay him commensurate to the going rate of coaches in the NBA, which the Lakers traditionally do not like doing. The Lakers also are not a franchise that respects or thinks that the head coach is important at all. So if you're going this route, you are saying, A, you are going to be fit to coach a LeBron James in the twilight of his career and an Anthony Davis that is right at the peak of his prime, which means he ain't going to get no better. He ain't going to get no healthier, and he's not going to improve. Are you making a decision for now and for the future and giving this coach, this decorated coach, a two-time national champion who could be very well going for 3, are you giving him the stability that comes with coaching an older team and also the stability that will come with coaching a younger team as you start an inevitable rebuild? That's the question that I have. If that is the question, A, does that mean you are sort of breaking away the umbilical cord to LeBron James Sr.? Is that what you are doing? I'm very curious about that, right? Because LeBron is going out of his way to make sure to tell people, hey, don't make this decision because of me. I'm not involved in this head coaching search, blah, blah. LeBron is like his own search firm. Those search firms that teams pay $1 million to, that a team, the search firm will ask the team, who do you want to hire? They'll say player X or person X. And the search firm will go and vet person X and go vet like 10 other people and then say, you should hire person X. See how easy that works? Like that's the LeBron James search firm, right? Except there's no title to it. It's called Clutch, right? So this one could very well.
With a K. Clutch with a K.
Right. Clutch with a K. There you go. Clutch with a K. Now, does this mean that they are breaking away the dependency of LeBron James? I will say this, as we make fun and everything else. LeBron has given this franchise a sense of direction that they did not have for a very long time. Even if you let Clutch in the building and you get Clutch clients and you get LeBron James influence, I don't know what else they've done over the past decade that has illustrated that Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, and all those decision makers actually know what they're doing. So this could be the first independent decision that illustrates, hey, maybe we have a sense of direction. Maybe we know where we want to go organizationally. Maybe we know what it looks like. But 40 years of the Buss family running this organization, I'll believe it when the ink is dry.
Wow. Well, but you said you said it in a very interesting way. You're talking about LeBron James and the Lakers and cutting the umbilical cord and just, hey, okay, now they're independent of one another. LeBron James is doing his thing. The Lakers are doing their thing. And yes, they're part of the same family. But, you know, as we know, sometimes family members make different decisions in the same family, make different decisions. So it's smart if the Lakers are doing that. If that's what the Lakers are doing, I applaud that. That's smart. And I know if you're just thinking about today, somebody would say that's dangerous. So you're going to make LeBron mad. Hey, you know LeBron, you can't do things that LeBron doesn't fully endorse or it wasn't his idea. You know, sometimes, you know, it's their idea, it's your idea, but you got to make him feel like it's his idea. I don't think this is one of those. He would not say, hey, go get Dan Hurley. So even though right now, that's not a win now hire, Dan Hurley. Dan Hurley is a best for the long-term health of the organization, knows the next 3-4 draft classes, if not more, 5 draft classes coming into the NBA, is equipped to coach people, is equipped to make changes quickly because that first championship team at UConn is not the same as the second championship team at UConn. You got to, in college basketball today, you got to be able to adapt. You got to recruit your own players. You got to get those guys to stay. Who's in the transfer portal? Who would fit for our team? Okay, got to bring them in from the transfer portal and then incorporate them into what we're doing and see if we can do it. It's nonstop. That would be smart. But you got to start doing it, Vinny. LeBron is going to be 40. LeBron's going to be 40 years old. So in December, I mean, how long? I know he's ageless, seemingly.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
Right. Yeah. Your sarcasm is the same as mine. He's ageless when he's out there. But the fact that he's not out there all the time tells you that he's not ageless. You know, there are some bruises and some injuries that he just can't recover that quickly from because of his age. And so the Lakers can't make all their decisions based on LeBron James. This is smart. I'm just surprised that they're doing it so early. I'm surprised they're doing it right now. I thought that JJ Redick, I thought Redick and the podcast were coming to LA.
It could be still.
We can't stop the podcast, right? Podcast got to come. He coaching, he can't stop the podcast, right?
I mean, what are the rules? There are no rules.
There are no rules.
This new endeavor. My question is this: are we sure Dan Hurley is made for 82 games of the NBA? With the way that he runs so hot and he is fiery and all that, he's one of those dudes who will burn himself out quickly if he carries the same demeanor into the NBA that he has in college. But I think he's smart enough to understand I can't kick it that way all the time. I think he's smart enough to realize Rick Pitino is one of the greatest college coaches of all time. And when he left Kentucky for your Boston Celtics, it took him about 3 years before he was like, Bird and McHale ain't walking through that door. Ron Parrish ain't walking through that door.
It wasn't even 3 years. Dog,
it wasn't even 3 years?
It wasn't even 3 years. I knew it wasn't going to work in like the first couple of months.
When he traded Chauncey Billups, his number one draft pick?
That's the rookie year. That's 50 games in the Billups' rookie year. I knew it wasn't going to work before that, and so did Chauncey. I talked to him about it. Chauncey did too. All the guys knew. All the guys knew. They knew the year before. Now, that statute of limitations is up. Antoine Walker, as a rookie, and so his rookie year, the Celtics, his coach was M.L. Carr. Pitino was still at Kentucky. So the rumors started coming out. I said, hey, Antoine, your college coach go be here. He's like, I don't want that, and you don't either. He said, I don't want it. You don't want that here. That will be a disaster. He told me, he was like, it's going to be a disaster. You don't want him here. He said, I love Coach, but I don't want him here. And you don't want him here. It's just too much. So fast forward to the first training camp. They'd signed, remember this name, here's a blast from the past. They'd signed Chris Mills. Remember Chris Mills from Arizona? Little forward.
Yes.
So they signed Chris Mills. He had played with Cleveland. And then he was a free agent. Celtics signed him in training camp. A week into training camp, they're doing all this, the Pitino manic thing, all the sprints he would do. And Pitino was standing on the sidelines, and he'd stomp his feet, and he'd go, white, white, white. And that was one of their presses. Then he'd go, black, black, black. Not to make it about race, but that was one of their presses too. So black and white. And he'd stand there, and he'd stomp his feet, and the players would be running all over the place. And then he'd go, sprint, sprint. He'd do that the entire game. So a week into training camp, Chris Mills just signed, says, Coach, as a veteran in the league, I'm just going to tell you, I just don't think this is sustainable for an entire season. Veteran guys like me, doing all this running before the games even start. He was like, oh, you don't like it? He's like, no, Coach, I don't. All right. So he traded him. He just signed him. He traded him a few weeks later. He could not handle it. And so he's the college coach that NBA coaches have in mind. He's a caricature.
Right.
The NBA coaches have in mind of these college guys don't get it because he was just not white. A loss in November just to get, a scheduled loss in some ways would just drive him crazy. He'd be in the locker room throwing stuff, yelling at guys, trying to put guys on a curfew, NBA players. It's just so I don't think Dan Hurley will be that, but he is wired in that way where every possession matters, and he's right there on the edge of the seat. You can't,
living and dying.
That's not the league. You can't do that. That's not going to work. But if he can tone that down a bit, I do like him as a coach, Vinny. I like him a lot.
I think he's an excellent basketball mind. I think he's an excellent and I think it says more about the current state of college athletics in this brave new world that we're entering, the world of NIL, the world of super conferences, or, that sort of thing, that the national champion in football, Mr. Jim Harbaugh, he got up out of there, and now you got a two-time national champion. Don't shake your head. Don't roll your eyes. Jim Harbaugh is a national champion. He will be respected as such. The final score between Michigan and Ohio State the last 3 years.
You don't know it.
117 to
you don't
74.
know it. It's not behind you.
It's
not behind you anymore.
117 74.
I know. I don't believe it.
117 74.
It's the best background I've ever seen. It's the best background you've had in a long time here on Brother from Another. Thank you. Thank you for changing it up a little bit.
I'm sure Gary Carter can pull up that sound.
That other background. That other background is trash.
It's okay.
Straight trash.
It's okay. I understand you're grieving. I totally get it.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.